Job market chaos. Hey everyone, it's Wolfgang. So I wanted to talk about the developments in the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Federal Reserve. There's sort of a crisis in the U.S. job market. Jerome Powell has been wrong when he's been saying we've got a healthy job market. That's been the party line now from the Fed, from Jay Powell, for a few months. And we have been saying in several videos over the past few weeks that we thought the Bureau of Labor Statistics data was providing cover for Jay Powell to make that claim. When Jay Powell said the job market is healthy, he was relying on the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, and we've been saying that data is inaccurate. As it turns out, the BLS data is incorrect. We've discovered that now. And there has been corruption and conspiracy between the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Jerome Powell. The Federal Reserve, we're not sure exactly how many people at the Federal Reserve or the Bureau of Labor Statistics are involved in the conspiracy, but there's, definitely the people at the top are cooperating to mislead and lie to the U.S. public. We all know the job market is in tough shape, and yet they have been saying that the job market's healthy and stable. And we have been saying for many weeks now in our videos that we suspect the data is manipulated, compromised, and is providing cover for Jay Powell to keep interest rates high, to hurt consumer confidence. The way this works is if you keep interest rates high and no one can spend money, they can't buy a home because they can't get a loan because interest rates are too high. Financing other things like cars, using credit cards. When the interest rates are too high, it cuts down spending. It hurts consumer confidence. And by the way, 70% of the U.S. economy relies on consumer spending. So that's a big problem, that they're hurting consumer confidence. Most U.S. residents know the job market is poor. There is slow hiring or no hiring. And there's a huge number of long-term unemployed people. Okay, so long-term unemployed means out of a job for at least 6 months or longer, no job. So there's a huge number of long-term unemployed and there's no hiring. And yet, Jay Powell was using BLS data to claim the job market is healthy. I'm going to show you in a few seconds here how miserably unhealthy the job market has been. So the effects on consumer confidence, as I said, 70% of the U.S. gross domestic product is based on consumer spending. And people, right now, people are tending to only buy things that are essentials. Because when the economy seems to be soft, people don't feel as encouraged, don't feel confident to spend money on things they don't really need. This is hurting the economy. When 70% of the economy is consumer confidence, consumer spending, and it's not happening, then we're in bad shape. And imports are down. We all know that spending is down. So what is the exact nature of the chaos right now? Job market chaos starts with chaos in the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Federal Reserve. I will go over the details, okay? The Bureau of Labor Statistics was caught in a lie. They've been claiming the job market's been great and providing data to support that lie. It's actually not true. And as a result, in the last couple of days, one Fed member quit, Adriana Kugler. She bailed out of the Fed. She quit that job. So those are not easy jobs to get. A job at the Federal Reserve, and yet we've had one person quit. We've had two Federal Reserve members dissent, first time in 30 years that's happened. Last time it happened, 1995. Two Federal Reserve members went against Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell said the economy's fine, we're not changing interest rates. Two Fed members dissented in the last couple of days. And an additional Fed member, Austin Goolsbee, almost dissented. So there were almost three people who dissented. That means trouble in the Federal Reserve. And we know what the trouble is. These people know that the BLS data, the Bureau of Labor Statistics data is inaccurate. And so they're resisting that. They're dissenting. They're resisting the direction of the Fed. They want interest rates to come down. So one Fed member almost dissented. That was Austin Goolsbee. So we had 2.5, 3 basically dissenting Fed members. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, the person at the top of the food chain was fired. So they discovered that the jobs data is actually much worse than what BLS has been reporting. And so the CEO, the head, Erica McIntyre, was fired. She was let go. So this goes back to what we've been saying for several weeks now. We suspect that the job market data provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics was manipulated, inaccurate, and was providing cover for Jay Powell to keep interest rates too high, hurting consumer confidence. So this is a pretty incredible series of events that happened all within the period of a day or so. The Bureau of Labor Statistics was caught in a lie about the job market data. One Fed member quit, two dissented, a third almost dissented. The head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics was fired. Jerome Powell is now under intense scrutiny, and I mean intense. I suspect that steps will be taken to relieve some authority from this position in the Federal Reserve. Because, when something is unreliable and useless, it's like a flat tire. You can drive the car with a flat tire, but generally, you're hurting yourself. You're not really getting anywhere. You're just setting yourself up for further failure. You may as well change the tire, get a new tire. So that's what's probably going to happen with Jerome Powell. Okay, so let's talk about the inaccurate data, the nature of the inaccurate data. This will be surprising because the inaccuracies in the data are huge. Only 19,000 new jobs were created in May. That's the actual number in the United States, across the entire country, 19,000 jobs. What's the population of the country? 350 plus million people, 19,000 jobs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, however, claimed 144,000 jobs. That is a huge miss. 19,000 jobs were actually created. The BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, under this gal, claimed a much higher number, 144,000. In June, even more recently, only 14,000 new jobs were created. So it actually got worse. From May to June, the number of new jobs dropped. 14,000 new jobs were actually created across the entire country. That's not enough jobs for the population. Okay, only 14,000 jobs were created. The Bureau of Labor Statistics claimed 147,000 were created. Those were lies. These were lies. The things in red here were lies by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and that's one of the reasons she was fired. So why is the Fed misleading the public? It comes down to affecting the GDP, affecting spending, hurting spending. Because if you think about it, if we had accurate data about the job market, the Federal Reserve would have lowered interest rates a long time ago when we started talking about it. Interest rates would be 1 or 2% lower, and homes would have been bought. That would have revived a lot of trades jobs. Trades jobs include roofing, landscaping, painting, flooring, people who do remodeling, kitchen cabinets, furniture, appliances. All those things would have revived and had some growth to them. They've been flat or dead. Companies are going out of business. Trucking companies are going out of business because of low shipping. And so if the correct data had been released, the Fed would have been forced to lower interest rates. Instead, the Fed kept interest rates high, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics provided cover to keep interest rates too high, hurting spending by the public. The 70% of our economy, that is consumer spending, has been hurt for months now, for several months. So that's going to end. That's going to start to reverse itself, and the economy should recover. So the reason that the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Fed were getting this data incorrect and making these lies, these announcements about healthy job market, stable job market, they intentionally were trying to hurt the U.S. economy. Now, that's a bold claim, but we will see that was probably the intent, was to slow down growth in the economy. It could be political, who knows? I don't really care about politics. What I care about is being humane to U.S. citizens, allowing people in the country to work and provide for themselves and their families. 70% of the U.S. economy is consumer spending. It has been truncated. It has been hurt artificially by these misrepresentations. So what's going to happen in the future? These people are going to be investigated. Jerome Powell is under a lot of scrutiny. This lady, the head of the BLS, she's probably going to be called before Congress and asked to give details of why they were giving data like this. We only had 19,000 actual jobs created in May, and yet they lied and said 144,000. We only had 14,000 jobs created last month in June. and yet they lied and said 147,000. So Congress will get to the bottom of it. A question might be asked, are we content that we were right when we said the Bureau of Labor Statistics was giving manipulated, inaccurate data to Jerome Powell to provide cover so that he could keep interest rates too high? Are we happy about that? No, of course not. We want the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we want the Fed to work as they're supposed to and to support the U.S. economy and consumer spending. Because without that, the country is going to be in continued tough shape. And people who should be able to support themselves, right now, they're not being able to. They're suffering. We don't like suffering. It's cruel. And we really want people, the humane thing is everyone who wants to work to provide an income for themselves so they can feed themselves and their family. Everyone who wants to work can work. And right now, it's not happening because of the artificially high interest rates. So it's very unfortunate this was discovered. This is a lot of chaos. This is a lot of stuff that's happened in the last day or so. And this is just starting to correct the problems. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure that we've ever had this much chaos in the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Federal Reserve. But it's going to be fixed one way or the other. So I really want to thank everyone for watching. If you have any questions, please post in the comments. I will try to answer your questions. And again, thank you for watching and have a great day.